So is it me, or is there a rise among celebrities of being single mothers? I'm wondering. I listened to Drew Barrymore talking to Gayle King, and the fact that Drew Barrymore was saying that she's not dating, she's not really interested in it. And I guess Gayle King, when she had her kids are probably grown now, because she was talking about when she turned down going on Oprah, that she was single as well and she wasn't dating. Of course, I don't know how long that period would have been. But then I started thinking, Angelina Jolie, she got divorced. She's single. I don't think she's dating anybody. Then, as far as I recall, Madonna has been the same for the longest while. Actually, Madonna might have been dating somebody, but she was single. She's been unmarried for the longest period of time. And then I thought about it, and Halle Berry was in a divorce. She has young kids. She's not, as far as I know, married. And then I thought, but Charlize Theron, I saw an article about how she hasn't dated anybody in five years, and she's happy and she's fine with it. So we have these A-list stars who have kids. I don't know how many kids, but Angelina definitely has a number of kids. Charlize Theron has at least one kid. I think she probably has more. Drew Barrymore has a couple of kids there. Halle Berry, definitely has, is it one? I don't know. But these are A-list stars, and they don't seem to be, I know Halle Berry is getting up in age, but still, I think most people would agree that, she looks pretty good. Charlize Theron is getting up there as well, but again, not as much as Halle Berry. But I'm just wondering, is this like the tip of the iceberg? Is this something that I had not noticed before? And here it is, there are these women who are fine being on their own. I remember there's this lady from NCIS, and she was saying how she had been in so many relationships, like, one after the other, like many people. And then she thought to herself, I have my dogs and I don't really need anyone. I don't want to go down the road of, whether or not these women self-pleasure. I think that's kind of irrelevant, because I don't think that that's the main reason that women feel that they should be in a relationship necessarily. And of course, most men self-pleasure regardless of whether or not they are married or not. I mean, Kanye does it definitely. He was on, was it Jimmy Kimmel, talking about it briefly. However, well, did they explain what the type of stuff that Kanye watched? I don't know, but you can check for yourself. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting that, number one, not only am I seeing or can point to all these women who are definitely not married and don't have a problem saying that they're not even dating, or we know that they aren't dating. It's just interesting that, and in many ways so great that we kind of have reached this point. And in some ways sad, because it means that, as in many countries all over the world, the birth rate is going down. But in many countries all over the world, women like these don't have to deal with some of the downsides of being in a relationship with a guy, or with anybody for that matter. So they don't have to deal with, Angelina Jolie decided to get a divorce because Brad Pitt apparently was getting drunk too often. I'm sure he wasn't slapping anybody around, because that definitely probably would have been out there, because certainly when they had that child custody battle stuff came out. So if anything was going to come out, and the same thing happened with respect to Johnny Depp, the worst of the worst came out, right? So But I wonder if, no, there's no wondering. The birth rate is going down in many countries, and that would be as a result of women being able to be independent, especially as men have to pay child support. It means that women can be more independent and know that, hey, the fathers are going to have to pay for their kids where they are. In the case of Charlize Theron, and well, she never had a husband as far as I know. She had it adopted on her own. But women don't need to endure these unhappy relationships whereas before it was much more difficult for women to get a divorce because of legal reasons, because of the way that the laws were, and because of societal pressures. You'd be embarrassed to say that you don't date, or you're happy not dating. You might have been happy, but you would feel this pressure not to be seen in this manner. And I, for one, especially with respect to my mother, I am happy that nobody has to force themselves to be unhappy in order to look like they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Even if that means that there are less of us. Because that was always a problem, right? This overpopulation. So it's great that women are getting educated all over the world, so they're not getting married quickly and then finding themselves stuck in these situations where they don't have much education and they can't find jobs, and so they have to stay with the person who they're married to, and then they can't get out of this marriage even as things might get worse. I think this is better, regardless of whether or not there are fewer people. So, just my thoughts on that.